Hi, and welcome back to the Planning Your Website mini course. All right, you're on lesson 3, you're halfway done. Are you excited? Honestly, the hardest part is out of the way. If you've gone through and you've worked those last 2 lessons, then you're doing awesome. And if you haven't worked them, that's okay too. Keep on going. But you'll see in this lesson how everything starts to come together. So this is lesson 3, the anatomy of a great website. And when you're finished, you'll have the outline of an effective website for your business. So your website is the face of your business online. It tells people who you are and how you can help them. It's often how someone gets to know you and decides if they want to work with you. It can create the first impression people have of you. It's where you want to attract your ideal client. So let's make sure you set it up the right way. In this lesson, you're going to learn the 5 things your website should include, what pages you should have on your website, and a few extra do's and don'ts to create a high converting website. Let's start with the 5 things your website should include. You should have a clear hero section, an obvious call to action, tell us what services you offer, show visual success, and how someone can hire you. Let's start with the clear hero section. This is the very top of your website. It's often referred to as the above the fold part. It's the very first thing that people see when they land on your website. So in this section, you want to make sure that you have a very easy to understand headline, and you want to make sure that it passes the 5-second test. And what the 5-second test is, when someone gets to your website, will they understand right away within 5 seconds who you help, how you help them, and how it benefits people, and what do I need to do to get it? In the first 5 seconds. That's really, really important because otherwise people click away. Then you want to make sure you have an obvious call to action. Do people know what they're supposed to do when they get on your site? Tell me what I'm supposed to do. I'm here. I like you. I've stayed on your site. I haven't clicked away. Now what? Am I supposed to schedule a free consultation? Am I supposed to sign up for your freebie? Am I supposed to buy something now? Tell me what I'm supposed to do. Then make sure somewhere on your website, it doesn't have to be your homepage, make sure that people can easily see what services you offer. What do you do for people? You want to have a maximum of 3. So what are your highest revenue streams and use those? It doesn't mean you can't have more things that you offer in your business or that you offer to your current customers, but on your website, list your top 3. Right. You also want to make sure that your website visually displays the success of your customers. Include images of their success. We don't want to see images of failure. Nobody wants that. Let's make sure you show images of them succeeding. And then one of the really important things is make sure you include how people can contact you. How can somebody find you? How does somebody hire you? I am amazed how many times I get to a website and I think, oh, this is awesome. Okay, let me hire this person. And then I can't figure out how to do it. So make sure that's on there. All right, next, what pages should you include on your website? Some very basic things you need to have. Obviously, you need to have a homepage. You need to have an about page. You want to have a services or a work with me page. You want to have a contact page. We just talked about that. And that you may want to include some other pages, blog pages, courses you offer, resources, frequently asked questions, if you have a book that you've written. And really important, you have to have a privacy policy that is required by law. So make sure that you get one of those. Now, don't try to be really clever with these. Some people try to change the about page to be called something like, let's get going or something. Just make sure that it's intuitive and people know exactly what it is you're talking about. All right, so on your homepage, make sure you have a clear hero section. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Make sure that it passes the 5-second test. Remember, the first impression of your business is when people land on your site. Make that count. Show people having success. Include your niche statement. You went through that whole exercise creating it. Include it on your homepage somewhere. Tell people who you help and the problem you help them solve. Give people enough information that they want to scroll and find out more. Make sure you have a clear call to action and include a way for people to join your email list. A lead magnet is usually what that's called, or a freebie or an opt-in, or Make sure there's a way for people to join your email list. And I'll give you a little hint. Join my newsletter doesn't work. People get enough emails in their inbox. If you just say, sign up for my newsletter, nobody will sign up. You kind of got to give them something for free. And then make sure that you have clear navigation. Make it easy for people to figure out how to click around on your website. Your about page, little hint, it's not about you. You can tell your story, but make sure you do so in a way that shows how your skills and experiences help other people. You want to include your niche statement here or a variation of it. It doesn't have to be exactly the same every single time. And make sure that you're talking about their problems, your customers' problems, and how you solve them. Take that 10 questions worksheet that you went through and pull information from that. Your contact page, again, make it easy for people to contact you. Don't make it hard to find. You'd be amazed how many people don't have this, and it can be very simple. Also, this is a really good place to include your social media links and a link to book an appointment with you, or at the very least, a way to email you. A little hint about social media links. A lot of people like to put them front and center on your website or up in the very top navigation center. I don't actually like that, because once I have somebody on my website, in all honesty, I don't want them to leave. I want them to go through my website, learn about me, sign up for my freebie. I don't want them to leave to go to my social media site. So I recommend that you put those links on your contact page and down in the footer on your website. All right, you want to have either a services page or a work with me page. Again, this is just more information about the services you offer. Usually you don't want any more than 3 on there. You want a clear call to action, how people work with you, and step-by-step instructions of what they're supposed to do. So they're reading your services, and then give them instructions. Here's how you can work with me. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and make sure you include testimonials. Other pages that you may have on your website, a blog page, a podcast page, any videos that you've got, and those could all be connected together. In all honesty, you can put videos on blogs, you can put podcasts on blogs. You might have a books page or a recommended reading page. You might have a course, put those pages on there. You want to have landing pages on your website. A lot of people will use lead pages or ClickFunnels or something like that. You really don't need to spend the extra money on that. Landing pages, and these are the pages that people get to when they want to sign up for your freebie. So put those right on your website. You can have frequently asked questions pages if that's something that's applicable to your business. Again, you've got to have that privacy policy. It's required by law. And you want to keep the number of pages that you have short and sweet, not too many. All right, let's go through a few website do's, just some extra tips to help you make your website higher converting. So you want to make it clear and easy to understand. Clear beats clever every single time. Use your niche statement. Remember, we talked about in the last lesson, the moms with school-age kids who want to learn about crafts and activities versus the someone analogy. Make sure your website's clear. Don't be vague. People won't figure it out. Again, don't worry about being creative or cute. It's more important that people understand what you're saying. You want to talk about their problem and how you solve it, and talk about how your solution is going to make their life better. You want to have a way to collect email addresses with a lead magnet, with a freebie or an opt-in. Honestly, they're all used interchangeably. They all mean the same thing. You want to have something that you give away that people sign up for and give you their email address for. And finally, make sure that your website is scannable. People don't always read everything that you have on there. They will scan down the page. So they'll scan the headlines, they'll scan what's bolded, they'll scan things that are bulleted out. Make sure that your website is scannable. All right, a couple more do's. Be consistent with your branding. Every page should look like it goes with everything else. Use consistent colors, use consistent fonts, use consistent layouts. Don't go crazy and pick 20 different fonts and put them all over your website. Don't pick a whole bunch of different colors. Be very consistent. Link your pages to each other. On your homepage, you can have a little bio section about you that says, learn more about me, and that links to your about page. On your About page, you can say contact me, and that links to your contact page, or work with me, and link your pages together. Include testimonials and use easy to read fonts. And the little hint, men have a hard time reading cursive fonts. So if you have a website that you're going to have men on, try not to use the cursive fonts. And then last, this is a really big one. Make sure that your site is mobile optimized. Depending on your niche, anywhere from 50 to 80% of the people that come in contact with you will look at your website on their phone. So make sure that it looks good on a phone. All right, some other tips of things you want to watch out for. These are things that you don't want to do. Don't make your website all about you. I'll be honest, I know this is hard to hear, but people don't really care. They don't really care about all of your history unless it is going to be something that relates to them. They have a problem, they need it solved, they want to know if you can help. So don't go into too much detail and make it all about you. Don't use jargon words or words that people don't understand. When you use a word or a phrase, ask yourself, would someone who has never worked with me know what I'm saying? Don't be vague. Tell people exactly how you can help them. Don't include huge chunks of text on your website. We talked about making it scannable. Break it up. Use headlines. Use bulleted items. Use bold. Use italics. Break it up a little bit. Next, don't put everything that you do and everything about your business on your website. It's too overwhelming for people. Just include enough information for them to make a decision so they can click that call to action button and move to the next step. All right, I know this can be a lot. Don't worry, you don't have to remember all of it. Just take a few things and apply them to your website. But if you only take 4 things, these are the main things that you want to keep in mind. Number 1, make sure your website can pass the 5-second test. Number 2, make sure it's clear, concise, and easy to understand. Number 3, make sure people know you are talking to them. Be specific. And number 4, give them something to do. Have a very clear call to action. In review, in this lesson, you learned the 5 things your website should have, what pages you should include, and a few do's and don'ts for a better website. So here's your assignment. You want to work on your top hero section. This is the first part that people see when they get to your website. So just write it out on a piece of paper, then hand it to a couple of people and ask them if they can answer the question. If they just had that information that you wrote out, would they know who you help, how it benefits them, and what they're supposed to do? And then second, decide on your main call to action. In the next lesson, you're going to learn some basic branding guidelines to get you started and some very specific tools you can use to create your brand. See you there.